crowd hoping to watch their Kings come out on top. NBA playing time. We're going to check out our first glimpse of professional basketball from Freak.
You know, he's a great young player and even a better young man. So personally, I couldn't be happier for him. I know he's thinking about the game, but I hope he's able to take a moment to just enjoy this accomplishment.
Well said, and I hope so too. I mean, as a player, you want to stay even-keeled, but it's almost impossible. I mean, there's just so much that you've gone through to reach this point. It has to be emotional.
Well, with Freak Clark, there was a question whether he would stay another year in college. Really was a tough decision for him, but he ended up coming out after his freshman year.
And, Kevin, it's really hard to blame a guy like Freak for doing that. I mean, he's clearly NBA ready, and he's putting a lot at risk for every year he stays in school when he could be on the NBA clock.
And here we see the debut of Freak, the kid from Harlem. His first time on an NBA floor. And Clark, it's a moment that he's worked very hard to achieve, and his family has got to be proud.
Extremely so, Kevin. It's been a long journey for him, but every level along the way, he's found success. High school phenom, playing for a college championship. I wouldn't bet against this kid on anything when it comes to basketball.
And what a feeling it's got to be for this young player is that last bucket represents the first official score in the NBA from Freak.
You know, and there we have it, the first taste of this young man's scoring prowess, showing he can handle NBA defense.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's the NBA that's going to have to show it can handle him, not the other way around. He's ready.
Shot clock at 6. 20 feet out. And it's Freak with the rebound.
And watching DeAndre Jordan, he's really refined his game over the years without losing the athleticism. He's that rubbery, long-limbed athlete that transcends age. And so far, I've seen zero drop-off in his leaping ability and quickness, but no question he's improved his skills and IQ.
Rebounding is going to be the focal point for them in this one, fellas. I can feel it.
It always is, and it has been so far, and they've gotten a nice edge on the glass. You can't afford to give him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Freak kicks to Rondo. The 3-ball. And released it in time, but it's off the mark. A nice first quarter of play. We've seen plenty of offense so far. The Clippers on top. They're up by 2. Live from Sacramento, you're watching 2K Sports. Earlier we sat down with Freak and asked him about playing in his first NBA game.
You know, I've thought about this moment my entire life. Now that it's finally here, the feeling's pretty crazy. But I know it's just the beginning. I got a lot of hard work ahead of me to get to where I want to go, to be the best player and the best teammate I could be. But this is an exciting first step, no doubt.
You know, Clark, you don't see that kind of perspective for most rookies, do you?
You really don't, Kevin. I mean, I really like his approach to the game. What remains to be seen, though, is will that translate to consistent production on the court.
It's a completely new group on the floor for the Kings. And Los Angeles will go for a different look here. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Smith. And Stevenson comes in for Paul Pierce. J.J. Redick's checked in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Rivers in for Paul. Freak, he's in at shooting guard. Gaspy is out there with Cauley Stein. Then it's Ben McLemore. And it's Rondo in at the point guard position. That's the 5 out there for the Kings. Gaspy dishes to McLemore. Here's Freak. And they convert it last on attempt number 3. Freak's got 5 points so far. Here's Rivers. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Picked by Griffin. It's Redick on the wing. Wide open. No good. So the Kings will take it the other way. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin. They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
And with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, you know, they haven't had to do much work on the perimeter.
Here's Griffin. It's rebounded by McLemore. McLemore's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
If he can improve on what's been a shaky day for him thus far, they could stretch this lead out.
2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. There's Freak. No good. That would have tied it.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
And the first half comes to a close. We've got a close game going on here. Clippers lead by 2. And don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of the third quarter. Welcome back, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports as we get set to get going once again. Hey, during the break, players getting a chance to refuel and hydrate with some Gatorade as there is more basketball in store. Jamal Crawford really making a difference here.
Yeah, he's played just a smart game overall offensively, looking for and finding the gaps in the defense, and also terrific shots.
A different look for the Clippers. Smith checked in for Griffin. Lance Stevenson comes in for Pierce. And J.J. Redick is subbed in for Jamal Crawford. So for the Clippers right now, Chris Paul and J.J. Redick are the guards. Lance Stevenson is out there with Smith, and it's Jordan in at the center, locking down the middle. Well, you knew things would be different for Lance Stevenson out of Indiana, but it wasn't in a positive way at all.
Yeah, he really struggled to find a role with Charlotte, the team he signed with. Remembering, he was more of the point forward, had the ball in his hands in Indiana. Not the case with Charlotte, and also rumored to be traded all last season.
Here's Caspi, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And while we have a chance, let's take a look at the best free throw shooters in the league from last season. Take a look at Redick, one of the league's best, 3rd in free throw percentage. And, of course, Jamal Crawford, also absolutely fantastic from the free throw line.
You know, when you put either one of these guys at the line, they'll step up and knock them down. I mean, what more can you ask for? It was a great season for both of these guys in terms of free throw percentage. They call it the charity stripe sometimes, but it's never quite as easy as it looks from the stand.
And they now lead as the free throw drops for him. The Kings were off to a hot start last year, but things certainly fell apart midway. A big factor in that was the messy firing of their coach, Mike Malone.
Yeah, really, that firing came out of nowhere to the fans and the players, and it seemed odd to fire a coach that has been leading his team to good basketball.
And both free throws good for Caspi.
And, you know, we'll never really know the full details of why Malone was fired, but the effect it had on the team was easy to see. Kings really tailspinned out of control afterwards.
Well, they certainly didn't have much of a problem getting the ball into the post that time.
Yeah, and that's important because this game may ultimately come down to which team controls the paint in crunch time.
He was all alone on that. 7 points for Ben McLemore.
They've been splashing home those threes since halftime.
Marked improvement in their shooting from what we saw to start the game.
You know, the Kings, I think, will look back and realize they made a dubious decision the way they handled that coaching change. I mean, lucky for them, they were able to right things, so to speak, by landing George Karl later on, clearly one of the better coaches in NBA history.
Austin Rivers, he's checked in for the Clippers. Kings leading now by 3.
And with the time left, they still can go 2 for 1.
Boy, they got to do it fast. They must hurry from here.
Oh, an illegal screen there, one of the toughest calls for an official to make.
And it is one of the toughest calls, but most of the time they do a good job with it, and you have to appreciate how officials get that one right more times than not.
Stevenson outside. And it's Sacramento with the rebound.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
Rondo with it. Now Smith defending. Caspi for three. And it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. Rondo's got 5 assists in the game. Now here's Rivers. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. He dishes it to Stevenson. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. It's on Ben McLemore.
That's his first personal foul.
For Los Angeles, they have shot less than 50% at the free throw line today, hitting just 3 of 7. That free throw good from Lance Stevenson. So the Clippers with the win. They seem to relish their role as the bad guy here tonight.
You know, Kevin, I sense that as well. I mean, they really did feed off all of that negative energy this crowd was directing.